Alleluia. Alleluia. The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus said to the crowds, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never hunger, and whoever believes in me will never thirst. But I told you that although you have seen me, you do not believe. Everything that the Father gives me will come to me, and I will not reject anyone who comes to me, because I came down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of the one who sent me. And this is the will of the one who sent me, that I should not lose anything of what he gave me, but that I should raise it on the last day. For this is the will of my Father, that everyone who sees the Son and believes in him may have eternal life, and I shall raise him on the last day. The Gospel of the Lord. The early church fathers said that it is the blood of the martyrs that is the seed of the church, that in every age in church history, it seems like when the church is being persecuted and the church is suffering is actually when the most graces are being poured out upon the church. Even in our modern age, we know that there is a global war on Christians. There's a book written by a journalist named John Allen that came out about 10 years ago called The Global War on Christians. We don't experience it as much here in the U.S., but there are many places in the world where Christians literally are persecuted and enslaved and imprisoned and killed. Estimates say that about 100,000 Christians a year are martyred for the Christian faith. And we will never know how many graces have been poured out upon the church because of the suffering of all those people, even the ones who are unknown and in secret. And we see for the first time in church history, we see this happening here in the book of Acts in chapter 8. That sure enough, as soon as Stephen is stoned and killed, right after that, Philip goes to Samaria. And lo and behold, he makes a number of converts. The graces from Stephen's martyrdom are beginning to take effect and pour out graces upon the church. Likewise, in chapter 9, as we will see, the conversion of St. Paul, the man who himself was a witness at the martyrdom of Stephen, he himself will become the greatest convert, all because of the graces of this first martyrdom of Stephen. This is the great truth of the spiritual life and the great truth of the age of the church, that one of the most effective ways that the church spreads is through the suffering of her members. All of us have had experiences of suffering, and it is important that we always offer them back to God, that He might make something fruitful of them. Archbishop Fulton Sheen once said that there is so much suffering in the church that is wasted because Christians suffer but don't actually offer it up for the salvation of the world. We'll never know how the ways that we have suffered or the ways that we have been persecuted, how those might actually bear fruit in the spread of the church.